and welcome
to sort of the
story. Episode 103.
103.
This is the podcast. Well, my name is Janey.
And this is the podcast where my name is Max.
And we're about to tell each other some stories. For example, like a fairy tale, or maybe a folk tale, perhaps a myth, perhaps a legend. Who knows?
Maybe a saucy limerick.
Oh, I'm definitely not going to throw you a saucy limerick today, and I apologize.
Wow, why am I even fucking here?
Well, there once was a man from Nantucket.
Can't wait to see where this is going.
You'll never guess. We are recording randomly live today on Zoom, so hello to everybody watching on Zoom. I feel like you guys really... Episode 100 we also recorded live, but we gave everybody like a lot of like heads up beforehand.
A lot of heads up,
we
quote
did.
Unquote. Like 3 days.
No, way more. We had already been planning it, like at least a week, but also there was like a whole hour where they had a chance to watch us set up Zoom. So like there's a lot of heads up. And everybody had their cameras on because everyone had the heads up to put on makeup. And this one we were just like, everyone's sick, let's do a live Zoom. And so nobody's camera's on, and I like it. I don't like it that your camera's off. I just like it that everyone was like, we'll come, but we're not doing anything special.
I like it that your cameras are off. I don't want to see anyone's fucking face. You're in my house now.
If you are sick, hey, join the club, man. We are there with you.
We're also sick.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of seeing your fucking faces.
Oh my God.
Get out of here.
Anyway, that's Max.
I'm the mean one.
Send all of your emails to max@gmail.com. Cool. Well, welcome to the podcast. This is not for children. We're going to curse a lot and make probably some pretty bad jokes. And you know what? You want your kids to grow up with a smart sense of humor. So make them listen to something like Seinfeld. I don't know.
If you're going to play this podcast for your children, at the very least, like crossfade it with Baby Mozart so that they get like net neutral IQ effect.
I feel like Baby Mozart would fit really well behind our stories.
Mm-hmm.
Just... and then their butts were touching. And they kissed.
Remix.
And those are the two stories I like. I don't know about you.
Well.
All right. Well, if you are listening to this and you're thinking, hey, I want more of this content.
This is good, actually.
I've listened to all 103 episodes, but I would like to put Baby Mozart before underneath more of them. You can. We actually have whole shiny giant bonus episodes.
One big ol' bonus episode.
And Max is going to tell you how to get there. Take it away.
Okay, so you know the old CVS that closed down like 3 years ago?
It's haunted.
It's like, so if you go down past there and then past like there are two frozen yogurt places, you want to take a left before
haunted.
The second frozen yogurt place. And then you're going to go down that road for like, I don't know, like 45 minutes.
Past the haunted dumpster.
And that's where you can find all of our bonus episodes.
They're in the haunted dumpster.
If you get lost, you can also find us on Patreon at the link in our show notes for this episode and every episode. For $3 a month, you can join our Discord with all of the lovely people whose faces I don't want to fucking see. Or for $7 a month, you can get access to a full-length bonus episode every month. That's a regular episode, but bonuser.
And that's how you do it. You know what?
What?
Depending on the age of the audience, there are some very old people that would rather go past the haunted dumpster than go onto a link.
And they deserve what they get.
You're going to get tetanus from our boners.
You're going to get spooky giardia from the crick behind the dumpster.
I was like, are you drinking the dumpster juices? Don't do that.
That's what people who don't click links are like. So click the link in our show notes. Go to our Patreon. Give us $7.
Or you'll get haunted giardia. Okay, well, that's a weird bit, but you did that lovely.
Thanks.
Wow, you're so good at that now.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to tell each other some stories now, unless you have anything that you want to. Oh, I have a story for you. I've been saving it. I specifically did not write it on the Discord so that I could tell you right now.
And that's what the podcast is.
Not like a story, like a quick little ditty from my life.
Oh, like a jaunty little limerick?
So there once was a teacher named Janey.
In her ass, children were a big painy.
I was gonna do painy too. So you might have seen, I did put some of this on my Instagram because it was too cute not to. So every day, I'm an elementary school art teacher. You can open that now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Max. ASMR. Good. So every day, I get presents from children. And it's usually like rocks, which is great. Or every once in a while, I'll get like a dead leaf, which is also great. I like it. I'm enough of a forest witch to be like, perfect, perfect gift. I've gotten like clearly like an earring that they took from their mom. Like I've gotten a lot of really weird gifts. But the other day at school in the morning, a little girl came up with a frog eraser and she was like, "This is for you." And I was like, "You know what? It sure is. Thank you, Mia." This is the frog eraser.
Oh God, there is no intelligence in those eyes.
You guys can see there it is. I'm showing the Zoom chat. That's the frog eraser. It's very cute, and I like it. It's very tiny.
It has the dead and homicidal eyes of a chicken as described by Werner Herzog.
Yes, 100%. Those eyes also are removable, which is horrifying.
What?
They popped out in my hand, and I had to go searching for them.
Oh my God.
Those eyes are not part of the eraser.
What?
And they are not glued it anyway. So, children's toys are wild today. So I get this little eraser, and I was like, that's great. And she leaves. She's in second grade. And so then one of my other little second graders comes walking in. His name's Mason, and he's all like, just full of energy. Sometimes I tell him that, like, I was like, when I imagine your house, it's like just like one of those trampoline parks. That's what I imagine, where you just bounce around. He has that energy. And so Mason comes in and he's like, "Hello, Miss R," and he like skids in. He's doing that Tom Cruise run. And I'm like, "Mason, look what I got." And I show him the frog and he's like, "Well, that's a pretty good frog." And I was like, "It's a good frog." "Mason, what is this frog's name? Quick, first thought, best thought, go." And he goes, Brandon.
Brandon is a really good name for a frog.
Brandon. Anyway, and then I introduced that frog to like every kid that walked in the lunchroom. I was like, "Hello, this is Brandon." And none of them thought it was funny.
I think that frog's name is Caldwell.
His name is Brandon. I don't know what to tell you. Perhaps like a Brandon Caldwell the third? I don't know.
Brandon Caldwell the third. And he's wealthy.
He is wealthy. He's got the dead shark eyes of a billionaire. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think that's all I had to tell you.
I'm having a weird time because I work in also education, but for a college. And I have a lot of, like, very embarrassing caretaking instincts. And, like, the students in my building, they hurt themselves a lot because they're dumb, and I love them. But, like, they'll come into my office and be like, "Hey, do you have a Band-Aid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I literally always... I've given you a Band-Aid 3 times this week. Yes, I have Band-Aids."
They can't just come in and say, "Give me your Band-Aids." They gotta do the polite little, like, shuffle.
Ooh, maybe a Band-Aid.
Baby needs a Band-Aid. Where could I find one?
But every single time I go to give one of these adults a Band-Aid, I have to fight the instinct to, like, put it on for them. I don't know why. I start to unwrap it and, like, put it on for them, and then I'm like, "You're an adult, you can put on your own Band-Aids." But I always, like, start to do that, and I've finally been able to, like, break myself out of that habit and just be like, "Here's your Band-Aid," and hand it to them like a normal adult person. Mm-hmm. But this week I had a student come in and be like, "Hey, do you have any Band-Aids?" And I was like, "Yeah, here you go." And I, like, handed it to them like a normal person. And then they opened up the Band-Aid, they put the Band-Aid on, and then they took the trash, like the wrapper, and, like, held it out as though I was going to take it in my hand. And I did. I just took the Band-Aid trash and threw it in the trash can. And I was like, "Thank you."
So the problem, it doesn't seem like a you problem. It seems like a them problem.
It is, but it's also, we're suffering from the same thing where we all have to be convinced that I'm not their mom.
Not easy to convince yourself once you've decided to be their mom.
No, yeah, 100%.
Once they've decided that you're their mom.
Yeah.
I do a lot of Kiss It Better. Like, that's literally... I'm an elementary school art teacher. I'll put on the Band-Aid, and I'll put my hand over it, and I'll kiss my hand, and I'll go, mwah! And every time, they're like, it feels better! And I'm like, it does, doesn't it? Magic.
It's the power of spit.
It is. I spit right on them. Well, are you ready to hear a tale?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Give me that tail.
Oh, I'm gonna give you that tail.
Cool.
Are you happy with where that went?
I'm really not.
All right, we'll just try to keep it in your pants.
My tail?
Yeah. Okay, and here we go. Goodbye. Okay, Max.
Okay, baby.
Okay. So, I have this at the end, but I'm actually going to give my little shout out at the beginning. Madam Malice, I don't know if you're here today, but you're going to hear this no matter what because you listen to the podcast. Madam Malice on Discord, reached out to us on Patreon with a lovely letter. They said that their archaeology teacher... I don't know if I should say this. I might bleep this later, but, like, they were specifically like, my archaeology teacher looks like Milo from Atlantis.
Ooh, all right.
And I just put in, like, 100, like, the two eyes looking sideways emoji. Like, maybe send him a mine phone number.
Mine phone number.
Perhaps
that would like mine phone number.
What's not like to live deliciously with my phone number? So, yeah, still
What's
got
that
it.
like to live connectedly? T-Mobile.
So, flirting is happening, not to anyone's face, but it's happening. So, their super hot archaeology teacher apparently does a lot of stuff with, like, the Baltic region. And so Madame Malice reached out and said, like, can you give me some sources or, like, resources to look up Baltic fairy tales and folk tales? And they came back with BalticTales.com. And I was like, maybe that's a brush off. Let's see. No, it's a really good website. It's so clean. It's like, it's so good. It's also one of those websites that has all of the stories listed and organized really well. It's beautiful to look at. It also says, like, how many minutes it's going to take you to read it, which is presumptive. I'm slow as hell, but whatever.
It's like, what's it called? Claire de Lune Fairy Tales or whatever. The one that has, like, fairy tales with a Z, but also...
Fairytales.com?
Yeah, but also it was, like, really well organized and accessible.
It's a great resource.
Yeah, I love it.
Love them. So, I chose a story from that website, thank you, Madam Malice, from Estonia, and it is called The Magic Mirror.
Ooh.
A little magic mirror tale. Once upon a time, there was a king who was very rich and famous.
Wow.
You want thine number?
No, I'm good.
I was trying to think of what the mine equivalent to his would be, and I was like, hein.
Yine.
The story says, quote, he had more money and gems than 10 kings taken together. However, because he was so rich and powerful, he decided that rules didn't apply to him. Everyone else got old and they died. But that shouldn't happen to a rich white guy, Max. Shouldn't happen.
God forbid.
Not in this economy. He wanted to be young again. And it wasn't fair that all the money in the world couldn't stop his hair from falling out. This was some real peasant level bullshit.
There's a guy like this in real life right now.
All of them are like this right now.
No, but there's, like, one guy who's, like, a billionaire who has spent, like, $4 trillion or whatever to try and make himself lose, like, 30 biological years. Have you seen this?
I thought you were going to say lose 30 pounds. And I was like, somebody is ripping him off.
You just got to go for a jog, my guy.
$30 trillion to lose 30 pounds. I think it's fair.
Overnight.
Cut off a leg.
Yeah.
I'll do it for free. Let me in your house. Okay, so this particular king had 3 sons, but he only really liked 2 of them. The youngest one was a fucking idiot.
And he loved him so much.
No, he hated the son.
Oh, I thought he was one of the 2.
No, that son fucking sucked. He was, the story was like, but he was so good-natured that he never took offense to anyone who called him a fucking idiot. Isn't that nice? So, The king called his 2 older sons to his side, and he told them that when he was little, he had heard stories of a magic mirror that would make you young again if you looked into it. So 30 pounds overnight, you'll look brand new. So
Doctors hate him.
Doctors hate this magic mirror. So he told his sons to go off and find that mirror for him, and whoever did it would get half the kingdom as a prize. So the 2 sons immediately agreed, and they're like, sure. And they're like, just give us a coach and 6 horses and, like, I don't know, a whole sack full of gold and, you know, a bunch of other presents that we can bring with us. And he was like, done. What?
I just got the weirdest sense of deja vu.
That maybe in your past life, you asked your father, the king, for a coach and
It's
6
possible, I
horses
suppose.
and a whole sack full of gold.
No, I feel like you told me this story.
I have never told you the story. I have told you a very similar story to this, though. There's a lot of, like, brothers and, like, stupid brothers stories.
There really are.
Old fairy tales were really like, hey, your protagonist is an idiot, but he's also stupid.
Look to your left, look to your right. If the people there are your brothers and they're not dumb, you're dumb.
You're the dumb one. This is my nickname for my sister. My whole life was Stupid Savannah.
That's not that good of a burn.
Stupid Savannah. I'm not joking. We would just randomly say that. I think we only said it
Try harder.
to be funny. Anyway. Poor Stupid Savannah. Okay. Well, Caston in the chat just said, I have brothers and they're not dumb. Oh, God. Well, Caston, look in the mirror, you idiot. So, we start seeing people just leave the chat.
Oh, no.
So, when the youngest son heard that his brothers had gone off on this adventure, he went to his father and was like, hey, can I go too? I want to go and search for a magic mirror. That would be awesome. Like, could I do that? And his father says, quote, where would a fool like you go? Your foolishness will be the end of you. Better go and take a walk. Your brothers will do well enough without you.
Why don't you take a long walk of a short dick?
Dick! Did you say a short dick?
I did.
Why?
Oh, I thought it would be a funny reversal of expectations.
It was. So, the poor stupid idiot baby was very hurt by his father's words, which means that he did take offense sometimes.
Oh.
And he insisted, like, no, I want to go. Like, if they're going, I should go. Dad, let me go. Dad, I want to go. Dad, let me look for a magic mirror. Dad, Dad, Dad. And the king was like, stop. You're so stupid. Eventually, the king sighed and told him, like, if you want to go, then go. But he wouldn't get any horses or gold or anything from him. He says, quote, go as you are, and if you get into trouble, blame yourself.
All right.
It really makes me wonder what he did to get this reputation. So that was enough for the fool. He counted the money in his pockets, and he realized he didn't have enough to get a good horse.
Put a cast iron pan in the dishwasher.
He put tinfoil in the microwave.
Oh, that idiot.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
That goddamn buffoon. Oh, he washed a red sock in a load of whites.
Oh, that idiot!
Ugh. What a piece of shit.
He tried to flush the macaroni.
Uncooked.
Uncooked macaroni right in the toilet. The idiot.
What an idiot. Some perfectly good uncooked macaroni.
Oh, you wasted the whole kingdom's supply of macaroni. And we have to wait a whole year for the macaroni harvest. Max was taking a drink. That was poor timing. Or was it excellent timing? You decide, you fools. So, that was enough for the fool. He counted the money in his pockets. He realized he did not have enough to get a good horse. But he could get a very affordable old gray nag. It was old and it was not doing well. So he hopped on her back and they set off.
Okay.
So the journey was slow and agonizing for the horse.
Sure.
But it didn't bother the fool, who was not walking. So,
Yep.
He had everything he needed. A smile and an old gray nag. That evening, he came to a large inn and he saw the coach and 6 horses at its door. And he realized, like, oh shit, my brothers are here. Maybe I can go and ask them to take me with them. And then, I can go with them.
So
That'd be great. He's
and that's
like,
the plan.
3 heads are better than 2. And so he tethers his old nag and he walks into the inn, and his brothers see him and immediately burst out laughing, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here to get the magic mirror, brothers. Let us go together and share the glory. And they basically like dunked a keg of beer over his head and called him a dork. Gave him a wedgie. And then the story says, quote, now this made the fool feel very bad indeed. Which, again, seems like he takes offense every time they call him a fool.
Maybe this is like for the second time ever.
He's not used to this feeling of feeling upset that they keep dunking beer over his head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. He got back on his horse, and he rode off in search of the mirror alone. And his brothers decided to stay at the inn instead of going to search for the mirror at all. Because after all, the mirror probably didn't even exist, and it was just like an old fairy story, so they were just going to stay there and get drunk and spend their dad's money. So on the road, the fool came to a great forest. He was about to ride around it when he saw this narrow little path leading straight into the darkness. And he reasoned that magical items are almost never found on main paths. They're almost always hidden in dark forests. And so he immediately steers the nag into the woods. Not such a fool after all.
Mm-hmm. Video game logic.
Yeah. After about a day of riding, he got bored and he broke a branch off of a tree. And he cut it into a little pipe so he could play some music on the road as he went along. This doesn't come back. I don't know why this was in the story.
He has hobbies.
I just like the idea that they're like, oh, everyone's going to question, like, if he's just riding a horse, what does he do with his day? Well, he listens to the radio. Oh, there's no radio. We got to figure out something.
He listens to a podcast.
No.
He listens to the bonus episodes of his favorite podcast, Sort of the Story, which you can find on Patreon.
And at night, he sleeps on his Casper mattress. Casper. It's haunted. So they rode for 3 whole days until they came to a small glade with a mighty oak, underneath which stood a poor little hut. And he began to ride towards the hut when a little old woman like pokes her head out of the door and then steps on the porch, and she says, well, well, someone to see me at last. I saw the forest die and rot away, and another grow up, so long have I been here, but not once in all this time did I see a living soul. What brings you here? And he's like, I'm looking for a magic mirror. She's like, oh, what's it do? And he's like, it makes you young again. Have you seen it?
That is a dangerous question to ask.
So she like looks at him with her old gray withered face and she goes, nope. Haven't seen a magic mirror that makes you young. But then she told him that she had a sister who was even older than she was, who might know something about such a mirror. She's like, she lives that way, about 3 days away.
But no, she doesn't, because she's even older than she
Yeah,
is.
she's not the oldest thing in the world. She's
no,
just
I know, but
very
like
old.
she wouldn't, like, if she had seen the mirror.
Well, she could be older than her, but the mirror could have made her young. She doesn't mean that she was born at a different time. It just means that she looks young now. No, it doesn't time travel.
Why not?
It makes you mirror. Because it's not that kind of mirror.
Could be. Should be.
It's not.
Might be.
It's one of those normal magic mirrors that you look in it, you get young. You stop it.
I feel like there's a disconnect here. How are you gonna be young if you don't turn into a baby and suddenly your birthday's today?
Max and I just watched Sky High. And that is a plot point in Sky High.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but it is. Perfect film.
Honestly, perfect film. He thanked the old woman, and he rode off in the direction that she had pointed. And after 3 days of riding, he reached her house, and an even older woman stepped out onto the porch, and she was surprised to see just like a guy on her lawn. And he's like, I'm looking for this magic mirror. It makes people young. Do you know where it is? And she says, I made a typo.
She is stunned into silence.
You think they're being so nice to him because he's like, hey, pretty lady, you clearly looked into a magic youth mirror.
Oh, like they think that he's hitting on them?
Yeah, and they're like, oh my god, go see my sister, she'll love you.
You're such a sweet young man.
Oh my, you little flirt. So what she says is, I heard about some such thing in my youth, but my computer autocorrected it to, I heard about some such thing in my mouth.
I thought you were finishing the sentence of, I heard of some such thing in my youth, but my computer autocorrected. And now I don't know.
She's like, I don't even know how to use that.
I'm a robot.
Okay. I'm starting over.
What if she was a robot?
She's not.
That's how she time travels.
doesn't. Okay.
Well, then how is she? No, you know what? You're being illogical.
I've never been more logical in my life. Okay, so she tells him, I heard about some such thing in my youth, but where it is, I don't know. But perhaps my older sister know. She is the wisest and the oldest of the three of us. And so she points him in the right direction. She says it's going to take you 3 days to get there. At this point, I'm surprised his old nag hasn't died.
Yeah.
Like old age, but whatever.
Maybe the nag knows about the mirror.
He hasn't even thought to ask her. I know. So he thanks her politely, and he rides on to the oldest sister's house. And the story says, and she was more surprised to see him than any of them. This is like 9 days into the woods. So he told her about his search for the mirror, and she told him, like, I don't know anything about the mirror, but maybe one of my servants would know. So she tells him, like, get off your horse, come into my house. And he walks in and he finds that it's like bright and clean. He's dazzled by it. And the old woman takes this long carved whistle off of a shelf and she brings it out onto her porch and she blows hard once. And suddenly the forest came alive with rustling. From all around them, the beasts of the forest gathered around the hut. The old woman talked to them for a bit and then came back to the prince and was like, no, they don't know anything about a mirror. I asked, the bears were like, what's a mirror? And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Sure.
So, the chipmunks were like, give us some acorns. I was like, that makes sense. So no, nobody knows anything of it. But then she's like, maybe my other servants have known though. So like, let me check with them. So she takes a second whistle off of the shelf and she brings it to her porch and she blows even harder on that one. And again, there's this rustling, but this time it's in the trees. There's like the cracking and creaking of tree branches. And it sounds like, quote, the arms of many windmills whirling round and round. And then when the fool looks out the window, he sees that all of the birds in the whole forest have flocked to the hut. And the old lady talks to them for a bit and like tweets. And she comes back inside and she's like, no, the birds don't know anything about a mirror either. So I don't know. I feel like they would know. But I have one more servant left. And honestly, he's so wise. If he doesn't know about a magic mirror, it doesn't exist. So
kind of just feels like she's showing off. Like she's like, ooh, look at all my friends.
I don't think she's ever seen anyone before. So like, I would show off too. So she took a third carved whistle from a shelf and she brought the fool to her porch so that he could hear for himself what the wise servant said. She's definitely showing off. She's like, come on here, you're going to want to see this. Then she blows so hard that the fool's eardrum almost burst. This is a quote. Now there came a rumbling sound, and so loud was it that it seemed as if a storm were passing over the forest. A large two-headed hawk came down onto the glade, and perching on a stone, asked with a wave of his wings, what is it the mother of the forest wishes? In Captain Holt's voice, I'm imagining. But I can't do that voice, so. Boned! And she's like, no, mirror. So she asks him to tell them where the magic mirror is. And the two-headed hawk is like, oh, I know where it is, but it's not going to do him any good because it's hidden in the bedroom of a princess who does not wish to be found. This princess lived on an island in the middle of the sea where the rocks were so high no ship could dock on the shore. And the old woman is like, okay, so then you fly him. And the hawk's like, fuck. All right.
I have a doctor's appointment next week.
I think you mean Hawker's appointment.
I do not. I do not.
No? Well, you're not a hawk.
It's a bad word.
So the old woman ordered the hawk to carry the prince on his back to the island, and immediately the hawk spread his wings and allowed the fool to mount him. So they flew for 9 days and 9 nights over the sea, until they reached the island at last. And the hawk told the prince that he would go in at midnight to steal the mirror. But he had to be careful not to stay too long, or both of them would die. So he's like, time is not on our side. You're going to need to, go get in and get out. The princess kept the mirror at the head of her bed, under her pillow. So he didn't need to worry about waking her up because she sleeps so soundly at midnight that he could ride his horse into her bedroom and she would not stir. I want that kind of life. Mm-hmm. I miss that. The most important thing was that he needed to grab the mirror and run. So at this, the hawk plucked 2 feathers out of his tail and he gave them to the prince. I know. He told him that when he reached the gate, he would see 2 guard bears. And these bears were trained...
What?
Guard bears. And these bears were trained to tear intruders to pieces. Yeah.
It's a pretty good guard.
I know. He was to throw the feathers at the bear and then run like hell to get the mirror.
Have you ever tried to throw a feather?
No.
It's really difficult. They're bottom heavy, but also they catch every kind of
Maybe these ones are steel tipped or something like that. So it's like...
He's got James Bond feathers coming out of his tail.
He's a two-headed hawk. He can have anything.
He can't have anything.
Maybe he had
He can
implants.
have my number.
So the fool followed his instructions perfectly. When he tossed the two feathers at the angry bears, they each grabbed one and then fell fast asleep. Then he made his way through the castle, where everyone seemed to be sleeping as well. He made his way up to the princess's bedchamber and grabbed the magic mirror from under her pillow and shoved it under his shirt, right in his bra. He was just about to slip out again when he saw a table set with food and drink, and he thought to himself, well, I've been flying for 9 days and 9 nights. I am about to die. I can have a little snack. And so then he sat down at the table and he ate the food. After he had gorged himself with his tiny little feast, he thought, I wonder what the princess looks like. I wonder if she's hot. So he snuck over to her bed to take a peek. She was lovely, of course, because she's a princess in a fairy tale.
Sure.
And he stared at her for like a long time, like a real creep. And he noticed that she had a gold ring on her finger. And so before he left, he reached down and robbed her of the ring.
Sure, as you do.
He put it on his finger, which either he put it on like his pinky finger and she had it on another one, or he just has very tiny fingers.
Or she got big old ham hands.
She got ham hands.
Like yours truly.
And mine truly. So he slipped it on his finger and then he ran out of the palace. The bears were awake now, and the hawk, who was pissed off, flew down and snatched the prince up by his shirt with his beak and then flew into the air far away from
Which
the bears'
beak?
snapping jaws. Both of them, maybe. Maybe each of them have a shoulder. I forgot he was two-headed, and I was like, do hawks have like a bottom beak?
With his butt beak. You know, from Harry Potter. Gotcha back.
Butt beak! Ooh.
Enjoy that sip, motherfucker.
Do you think there's a porn? Never mind. Okay, so I don't need to know. I don't need to know. Just let me imagine.
I need to know what I don't want to know.
So they flew over the sea, and then all of a sudden the hawk just straight up dropped the prince into the ocean. The prince was dipped into the water up to his knees before he was snatched up again and flown straight up into the air. And a little farther on, the hawk dropped him a second time, and the fool was dipped into the water up to his chest, and then caught and brought back up. And then a third time, up to his neck. And terrified, the fool is like screaming and crying and pissing his pants, and finally the hawk is like, oh, are you scared? Do you not like being almost killed? You told me to fly with you and not drop you, and now I'm not listening? Is that frustrating for you?
I love passive-aggressive ancient talk.
And so this is a speech that the hawk gives, which I just appreciated. You were frightened when I dipped you in the water to your knees. Well, so had I been when you were looking over the princess's bedchambers and the bears lifted their heads. And you were frightened when I dipped you in the water up to your chest. Well, so had I been when you started eating and the bears sat up. And you were frightened when I dipped you in the water up to your neck? Well, so had I been. Badly so. When you began to take a ring off the princess's fingers and the bears reared up on their hind legs. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You stop for a fucking snack and some shopping?
A little siesta.
You can't. So, he finishes taking his absolute tizzy, and then he makes it to the older sister's house and just, like, drops him on the roof and then, like, flies off cursing. So, once there, the fool showed the mirror to the old woman, and she waved it off, saying, like, I'm too old for it to do any good for me. And so, but she's like, but I have something for you. And she gave him 3 switches, telling him that he may have use for them. All he had to do was wave the switches, and his every wish would come true. Magic wand. That's nice.
Pretty good.
So the fool thanked her and got back on his nag and made his way to the second old woman's house. He showed her the mirror, but like her sister, she's like, I don't need that. It's... what am I gonna do with a younger face and body? And I'm like, I don't know, yoga?
Old people could do yoga.
I want to do young people yoga.
Younger.
When I had my MRI to look at my really messed up back, the neurosurgeon that was looking at it was like, okay, so what I suggest with our other treatment plans is you take like a yoga class. And I was like, uh-huh. And he was like, not like a normal yoga class, like a yoga class for really old people. Like, look in the window, and then if they're old, go in. But if they're like your age, or go out. And I was like,
that's not for you. I spent 3 years in high school going to yoga at the Civic Center with a bunch of old ladies. And it's one of the best things ever. Because I was in high school and I was super paranoid about every single aspect of my body. And then there were just a bunch of older women who were like friends because they all went to the same yoga class for years and years. And the instructor was an older woman named Carol. And it was just like in a dark conference room at the Civic Center for some reason. And all of them were just super cool and chill about their bodies. And I was like, oh, okay. This is actually,
nice.
Yeah.
That's like a really positive experience for like a teenage girl.
Yeah. Carol one time was doing this thing where you're supposed to like, it's like one of the part of the warrior sequence of poses. Yeah. And she was like, okay, so demonstrating like how you want to keep your shoulders like flat. Basically, she was like, so if you lean against a wall, you should feel your shoulders moving at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. And then she's like, okay, and then we're going to stretch out, and then we're going to go down and like touch your toes. And she did that and ripped a horrendous fart.
Well, that's the risk you take when you go to old yoga.
And then she tucked her shoulder and did like a somersault into the middle of the floor because she was laughing so hard. And we just ended the class. Everyone like laughed for 5 minutes, and then they were like, all right, see you guys next week. This is great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
It's
I
very
love it. Okay, so that's what happened at the other woman's house. Mm-hmm. So the other sister, after waving off the mirror, says, like, I have a gift for you as well. And she gives him a little bag. Tiny little purse.
What did the second one give him?
The first one gave him switches. I'm on the second one.
Oh.
The bag, when he opened it, if you were ever hungry, loaves of bread would just come spilling out of it. So it's a bread bag. Yeah. So he thanked her, and he rode off again. And he made it to the first old woman's house, and he showed her the mirror, but like her sisters, she didn't need or want it. But she gave him a pair of scissors. And she was like, cut your hair.
You hippie.
Beatnik. So she told him if his clothes ever wore out, all he had to do was click the scissors and it would give him more clothes, I guess.
That's the opposite of what scissors do.
Well, that's your problem. Sounds like your personal problem.
Well,
these scissors make clothes. So he thanked her and he left. Eventually, he made it to the inn, and he saw his brother's coach was still there. It's like a full month later, so like his brothers are terrible. When he got inside, his brothers asked him, like, did you get the mirror yet? And he's like, I sure did. And they were like, sit down, have a drink with us. And then they like plied him with food and drink until he was drunk off his ass. And then they were like, let us see the mirror. We got to make sure it's actually magic. You don't want to go to dad and like it not be magic. And so he pulled it out from under his shirt and he's like, oh, it's magic. Just look. And then they snatched it away from him and they're like, yeah, we're going to give this to dad ourselves. Bye, nerd.
The mirror, you know when you have like a mirror and you like put your hand on it and then it like fogs up and you have like a handprint on it?
Yeah.
Basic stuff.
Basic stuff.
Every time that mirror fogs up, it's going to have just a belly button print in the middle.
You see his two nipples. Oh, God. Just a mirror directly against your clammy chest.
Ugh.
No, thank you.
Oh, you're riding a horse?
Ugh.
Ugh.
How is that horse still alive? Anyway, so...
That's her business.
They tell their brother to keep his mouth shut or, quote, we'll give you a drubbing you won't forget.
A what?
A drubbing.
Is that money?
Is it drubbing? So, don't do it. Then you'll have to find out. When they presented it to their father, he instantly turned young again when he looked in the mirror. And he rewarded his two brave, clever sons half of his kingdom that they have to fight over, I guess. Mm-hmm. At this, the fool came running in, sobbing and weeping that he was the one that found the mirror. Him! And he flew in the back of a hawk, too! And an old lady made him pick a switch. It was him! Damn it! Look at my bread bag! And his father...
Look at my scissors that make clothes for some reason.
Snip, snip! So his father screamed at him.
Just a scarf.
One single sock. So his father screamed at him for being a fool and a liar. And his brothers yelled, a fool like that should not be allowed to live. Have him put to death. And so they drag the fool to the seashore, and they put him in a...
what?
To the seashore. Cecil the seashore.
Cecil the seashore.
Cecil the seashore is my cousin.
That's Marcel the Shell's great-grandpappy.
Yeah. So they dragged the fool to the seashore, and they put him in a boat with no oars, and then they pushed him out to sea. And as he floated away, his brothers taunted, "Your hawk can help you." And he was like, "No, he won't. He hates me now." Ah! I burned that bridge. So the wind sent the fool's boat out into the open sea, where he was tossed about by waves for a long time, until at last he was flung onto some rocks. And he saw that he was on an island in the middle of the sea, and he thought, "Oh, so this is how I die. On a deserted island, without my desert island book." Sucks.
What's his desert island book?
Oh, the places you'll go.
Whew.
It's ironic. So, he tried to drag his boat to the shore, but something was in his way. He reached into his bra, and he found the 3 switches that the oldest of the old women had given him.
And also a really old pack of gum.
What's in here?
And 2 nickels.
And a business card? Should I call?
And also another bra.
It's his backup bra. So, not fully believing he'd be lucky enough to actually have magic wands, he took out the switches and he waved them in the air and he says, "Let a town grow up here and let there be many, many people in it." That's what you want on a deserted island?
Competition?
Just send me a helicopter. As soon as he wished it, a town of people rose out of thin air, but all the people were super naked. So the fool hastily took out the scissors and clicked them and said, "Pants! Good God, pants!" Pants for the people! So that covered his eyes. And carts loaded with clothes drove up. And, quote, all the townspeople had to do was to come up and dress themselves. Because he wasn't going to help. He's a prude.
Mm-hmm.
But they were hungry. Oh, so hungry. So he brought out the little bag that the youngest of the old women had given him and untied it. And loaves of bread came spilling out of it. Enough for 10 kingdoms. Which is too much bread.
And also you need other stuff.
Also,
I've found out from personal experience that you can't live on just eating bread forever.
You could try, and you did.
And I did.
Also, this isn't a kingdom. This is a town.
This is a formerly desert island.
Yeah. But so the fool became the king of the island, and all the islanders loved him because with his magic items, he had everything that they needed. So they were like, great.
Gotta get them magic items.
Gotta get them. Pick a switch. And one day, when the young king was walking along the seashore, he saw a ship far out at sea. He got in his rowboat and he rowed up to the ship, and he saw that the princess he had robbed was on board.
Oh.
And he, like, from his rowboat, I'm guessing, was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And she was like, "Sailing." And he was like, I have a kingdom back there. Do you want to come back and visit it? Have a bite of some bread? Get a dress? I don't know. I got some
What a girl's like.
What a girl's like.
Bread?
Dresses? Bread.
Dress?
He's right. That would get me.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "What?" And she says, like, "No, thank you. I don't want to come to your kingdom with you." And she says, "Recently, I had a magic mirror stolen from me." And he's like, "Oh no, who would do that?" And she's like, "More importantly, though, my golden ring was taken from me. And whoever has that ring is the person she must marry. She's under some sort of ring curse." So her worry was that it was some weird, gross old man, or like a wicked magician, or like a monster of some kind, who would live for another 100 years and hunt her down. A real Leonardo DiCaprio sort, you know? So she decided that she would just live out on the sea forever, or until she turned 25. And then he would, like, never find her, because he wouldn't expect a princess on the ocean. What?
That's crazy.
Leonardo DiCaprio is known to party with models on yachts, though. This might not be a good plan. At this, the king took her ring off of his finger and handed it back to her and was like, "Oh yeah, that was me. Sorry. Here you go." And she's like, "What? But you're young and hot, and that's your kingdom back there?" "Ah, fuck it." And she, like, jumps off her ship and into his arms. She was like,
"You got some bread back there?"
"Row me to your bread house. Take me there." So they go back to his island kingdom, and they were married soon after. And the last line of the story is, quote, "As for the magic mirror, it was lost and has not been found to this day."
Oh.
The end.
A MacGuffin.
Is that a MacGuffin?
It's a MacGuffin for another story.
Oh, maybe somebody else can go find that. So that's the magic mirror.
Pretty good.
Makes you young.
Oh.
Yeah. And hot.
Oh.
I don't think that you're automatically hot. I think you're just like what you looked like when you were young. So hopefully you were hot.
Ugh.
That being said, the king's son is hot. So like,
Well, wouldn't it be such a bummer if you went on like an eternal quest to go find something that makes you young and it made you like young but also ugly?
you could be young, but you're not going to be like cute young.
No.
There's a TikTok filter that's like your teenage self, and all these people were like looking into it, and it like gives you basically like a softer jaw, like it gives you like braces mouth, basically. It's super cute, like smooths out your like eye bags, but like that's all it does. And so it's like, this is a like teenage filter. It's what you look like as a teenager. And all these people are like, oh my God, there she is. Oh, the things I would say to you. This is healing my childhood trauma. And the whole time I was like, first of all, this looks nothing like me. They made a super cute teenager and I was a monster. I was acne and braces and cut my own bangs and still wearing that goddamn cat shirt for some reason. Like, not a cute teenager.
Yeah.
I had the Mandy Moore haircut from one of her movies where she cut her hair.
Yeah.
It was like spiky, flipped out. Anyway, that's it. I feel like if you had a magic mirror to make you young, you would want it to be the TikTok filter, but it would be just you young, and you'd be bummed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my story.
That was a really good story. Thanks for telling it to me.
Oh, thank you for listening. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay, JD.
Okay, Max.
Here's what I got for you. A story.
Thank God.
Get ready. So the story that I have for you is from Yiddish Folktales, edited by Beatrice Silverman Weinreich and translated by Leonard Wolf.
I love Leonard Wolf.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's called The Princess of the Third Pumpkin. Not the first, nor
Not
the
the
second.
second.
The third pumpkin. The prince of a kingdom had just turned 18 years old, and his mother and father said unto him, "My boy, go forth and get laid."
Gross.
Yeah. His parents immediately are like, well, you have to get married. Immediately.
Sorry, son. Get laid within the boundaries of
Come on.
a marriage.
None of that heathen shit. His parents are like, you have to get married. You have to do it so soon. And the prince is like, absolutely. I cannot wait to fall in love. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And his dad is like, great, I'm going to call up every one of the hot and eligible maidens in our kingdom and have them come here and you can check it out. Marry one of them. Whatever.
We talk about this a lot, but like, my dad never even tried to get me laid.
I think that's a good thing.
I mean, I guess. Would have been nice to see some effort put in to find me the love of my life.
I mean, there's only so much you can do. He brings in all of the most beautiful maidens in the kingdom, and the prince inspects all of them and finds them all lacking. And he's like, I wouldn't marry one of these sacks of potatoes if you paid me. I assume.
Bring in some handsome princes, perhaps.
Perhaps. So the prince finds all of them lacking. He's not interested in marrying any one of them. And the king has gone through now every single maiden in the kingdom, and the prince doesn't want to marry any of them. So the king sends out a proclamation, and he says, if someone can find a wife for my very picky, very rude son, they will be richly rewarded. And time passes, and many further...
It's a bounty hunter for princesses?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Oh no! This prince is terrible.
So many more potentials come to the prince, but he, again, finds none of them interesting, will not marry them. Until finally an old woman comes to the king, and she says, Lord King, I have a maiden for you who is unique in all the world. And the king is like, well, I'm interested, because apparently my son doesn't like any other women.
Yeah.
And the old woman says, here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell your son to go out first thing in the morning. He's going to put on his coat, because it's going to be chilly. You know, it's that time of year. You got to be careful. He's going to put on his coat, and he's going to bring a knife, and a water bottle out to the garden.
Okay.
He's going to go out there and he's going to find a pumpkin vine. And on the pumpkin vine, he will find 3 pumpkins. Ripe for the picking.
Okay.
He's going to cut off one of the pumpkins. And from the pumpkin is going to emerge the most beautiful princess that there ever was. And then he's going to give her some water to drink. And then they'll be married.
Yeah.
You know how you do?
This is just like the pomegranates.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Yeah. I love Italian fairy tales.
This is actually Russian. This is a Russian Yiddish fairy tale.
Fantastic.
Right?
Okay.
Pretty cool. The king tells him to do all of that. He goes to his son and is like, here's the thing you've got to do first thing in the morning tomorrow. And so the next morning, the prince gets up, he puts on his big old Russian cloak, and then gets a Dasani water bottle.
Classic.
Yeah, and a little Swiss Army knife. And he goes out into the garden just before the crack of dawn. And he walks around in his father's garden until he finds 3 pumpkins on a single vine. And he's like, hooray, it's my lucky day. He leans down and he cuts off one of the pumpkins. And immediately from it springs forth, fully formed, a beautiful naked woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. Can I please have a drink of water? And he's like, oh yeah. And he like tries to get his water bottle out, and like his hands are slippery, so he can't get the top off. And she's like, fuck this, and runs away.
Oh, she doesn't disappear. She runs into the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like too thirsty to wait for him anymore.
And now there's just like a feral naked woman running and screeching through the woods.
Yeah.
Thirsty as hell.
In the story, she is shouting, a drink, a drink, a drink, a drink.
I mean, I've been there. I'm
We've
not
all
going to
been
judge her.
Yeah, so he's like, oh no, I missed the princess. But then he looks down and there are yet 2 more pumpkins on the vine. So he goes down to the second one and he cuts the stem, and immediately forth from this pumpkin bursts another incredibly beautiful princess. And he's like, wow, this one's marriage material for sure. And she is like gasping for breath and is like, please, I'm so thirsty. A drink, please. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he like goes to open the water bottle, but he forgot to like loosen it in between.
Dude!
And so he's like slipping off of the lid of the water bottle, and so he can't like get the water for her. And she's like, I'm so thirsty, I'm gonna die. And then she runs away into the woods after her sister, I assume.
It's counterintuitive. You see the water right there. It's going to take longer to run into the woods.
Men are capable of being very incompetent.
All right.
So he's like, oh, nuts. I lost another one. And he looks down and there's 1 more pumpkin on the vine. Mm-hmm. So he bends down and he takes his little knife and he...
No.
Stabs it.
Open the water bottle.
He takes his knife.
Fucking Butterfingers over here just stabbing pumpkins, not opening a fucking water bottle.
He bends down and he cuts this pumpkin off of the vine as well. And immediately another beautiful princess bursts forth, more beautiful than the previous 2. And this time he's ready. He's got his bottle ready. And he just throws it in her face. And she's like, oh, thank God, I was so thirsty. And then he takes her hand and they walk together off into the sunset. No, they don't. There's more of the story.
Oh.
But she's like, hooray, we're going to get married now. And he's like, hooray, at last, I will be married. My impossible standards have been met.
All I wanted was a gourd lady. I just need a gourd woman.
I just need the love of a gourd woman.
I need the love of a gourd woman. Aww.
So she's like, okay, so now we're going to get married. And he's like, great, but you're naked and you need clothes. And she's like, yeah, I do need clothes. And he's like, all right, you stay right here. And he takes off his coat and he like wraps it around her. And he's like, it's going to be cold, so wear this. And then he puts her on a branch. And he's like, wait here. I'm going to go back to the castle, get clothes and my parents. Come back here with clothes and my parents for you.
So you're telling me he's hot? You can just pick her up, put her on a branch? You're telling me he's some sort of, that's my only standard, hot? Can pick up and place in high places?
Or she's very small. Or she's the size of a pumpkin seed.
She is a pumpkin seed.
A little pepita.
One of those 2 things.
One of those 2 things. It's gotta be one or the other.
Hopefully it's not the second one.
This big.
I don't like the idea of her, like, asking for uppies. That's not hot.
It is really funny, though.
I don't like it.
So the prince sets her up on a branch and goes off to get his parents and some clothes. While he is gone, the princess is just sort of sitting on this branch, and the branch is overhanging a well. And an old witch comes to the well to get water. Mm-hmm. And she looks down into the water, and she sees the reflection of the princess up above on the branch. And she says to herself, oh my god, I'm so pretty. I'm like the hottest person on the planet. Like, check me out. And honestly, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for you. You know what? Yeah.
It's like that time that I was walking past a bus station advertisement that had Jennifer Aniston on it. I walked by like, damn, I'm looking like a good friend. Happens to me constantly.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So she looks in, she sees herself, and she's like, God, I'm so pretty. And the princess up on her branch is like, that's not you, that's me, you're ugly.
Whoa, fuck!
You're so ugly. You think you look like that? You're wrong. That's me, and I'm hot. And you're ugly.
I love her in a 2007 way. The love I have for her is very 2007.
She's just going full, like, John Tucker Must Die in
Paris
this tree
Hilton.
in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the witch looks up and sees a beautiful princess sitting on the branch above her, and she's like, all right, fuck you. And she takes out her earrings. And she grabs the princess off of the branch. She rips the cloak off of her and throws her into the well. And then she puts the cloak on herself and climbs up and sits on the branch. And the princess is just dead at the bottom of a well, maybe? And the prince comes back with his parents and some clothes. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're not going to believe it. She's so pretty. Like, she is just, like, the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I'm so glad that, like, I didn't settle for anything less because I'm so excited to be married to her. And they enter into this clearing. And his parents see this, like, old woman sitting on a branch in, like, a cloak, like, kicking her feet. And she's like, hi, honey.
Yeah, but is she naked?
Assume so.
That's how you'll know it's not her. She ain't naked. My real wife was nude.
And that's the one thing I know about her.
I know one thing. She loves pumpkins, possibly. I don't know.
Or hates them.
One of those.
Unclear.
She lived in a pumpkin and she was nude.
Yeah, so they come back into the clearing, the prince carrying the clothes and his parents. And his parents see this woman sitting in a tree and they're like, whoa, as long as you're happy, we're happy. And the prince is like, I remember this differently, but you know what? Yeah, whatever. Maybe I'm just being too judgmental now that, you know, maybe I'm being afraid of commitment and that's on me. Of like, I'm being like, no, she's so ugly, actually.
Not him gaslighting himself. He's 18. Don't marry this old lady.
So he helps the old witch down and he's like, my lovely, beautiful wife. And she puts on clothes and she goes back to the castle with her new in-laws and her husband to be. Meanwhile,
yeah,
princess is at the bottom of the well.
Sure.
Presumably dead.
Yeah, she has cracked her
rotting.
Head. Brains are leaking everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's one snail. It's loving it.
The snail has a bloodlust.
The snail starts like slithering by her and looks and goes, oh my god, I look so good today. Oh my god, I'm beautiful.
Good for him.
Good for him. My boobs have never looked better, says that boy snail.
His snoobs.
My snoobs have never looked worse.
And there she remains. And
no. Wait, no, that's not. No, it's not. Listen, your notes end kind of abruptly. Like, I can't read them, but it's like a short little story. I was like, is that how the Russians end these tales? Because we know the Italians give them a happy ending.
Classic Italians.
Classic. The Italians give them an HEA, and the Russians give them dead at a well.
Ooh. Oh, I forgot something. Shocker. The old woman who was like, hey, you should get some dames from my pumpkin. The king was like, thank you.
I think it's the same old woman?
No. Different old woman.
Okay.
The old woman who gave them the tip about the pumpkins. The king was like, thank you for that. Like, you know, we've promised riches. And so he sets her up in a little hut, like next to the kitchen in the courtyard, which is her kind of prize. Which seems not great. But also, in a lot of stories, the reason why I didn't remember this is it because in most stories, there is just like a Deus Ex Machina old lady who just like drops magic hints and then disappears. But she's still a part of the story.
Yeah, she got
and also
a
the
present.
king treated her relatively fairly, you know?
Yeah, she delivered what he asked, and he gave her a hut next to a kitchen.
Yeah.
Honestly, free housing, done.
Free housing. And also, all the good smells you can sniff.
Where do I sign up? I'll fucking point you in the direction of some sexy pumpkins. That one's looking particularly ripe.
Oh, God.
Give that one a smack. Bam! Hollow. Like it should sound. I don't know how you pick a pumpkin.
So, this old woman is living in a hut outside of the kitchen. This is important to note for later.
Okay.
Just to slide that in there.
Yeah.
One day, the cook in the kitchen goes out to the well to get himself some water to boil la pasta. It doesn't say that.
I'm trying to think
I
of
was just
any
riffing.
Russian food that could be the equivalent.
Borscht.
To boil a borscht. I was like, boil some cabbage. I don't know what they eat in Russia.
Cabbage.
Yeah.
Among other things. Borscht.
What is borscht? Is it sausage?
Mm-mm.
What is it?
Beets.
Oh.
No, I'm thinking of the other one. Someone Google it.
AirPods.
The cook goes out to get a pail of water, and he lowers the bucket into the well, and then he pulls it back up, and inside are a bunch of rotten eyeballs and bones and teeth and stuff. No, that's not true.
I was like, a bunch.
Just so many.
Why does she have so many eyeballs?
You could never ask a lady that. That's not appropriate.
Oh, man.
He pulls the bucket up, and inside he sees swimming a single beautiful golden fish inside of his little water bucket.
Adorable.
Yeah, and he's like, hello, little friend. Beautiful little golden fish friend. You want to come home with me? And the fish, like, wiggles its tail.
He picks it up by his tail, and he swallows it whole. The end!
He brings it back to the kitchen, and he fries it up with a nice lemon butter sauce, and he eats it for dinner, and that's not a joke.
And the old woman smells it from her cabin. Did you say that's not a joke?
No, he cooks her up and eats the little fish. He eats the fish. He takes the fish back to the kitchen, and then he fries it up, presumably.
Do you think he had, like, an old-timey, like, painting made of him holding up the tiny goldfish that he could, like, post around town to look for ladies?
Ladies.
Ladies!
Look at this fish I caught and then ate. Doesn't that make you want to have sex with me?
Good Lord. God forbid a man have hobbies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, he goes back to his kitchen. He fries himself up a nice little fillet.
Mm-hmm.
He eats it. Delicious. He obviously descales the fish, and he takes all the golden scales and is like, trash, and throws them outside. The old woman in her hut smells the delicious smell of fish cooking, and she goes out to see what he's frying up, and she sees all of these golden fish scales on the ground outside of the window to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And she picks them up, and she's like, ooh, a fun little craft for me, the old lady. She brings the fish scales home, and she sews them together into a tiny, tiny little shoe.
Okay, I am so excited to see where she goes with this.
She makes a little golden shoe out of the fish scales.
Yeah.
And when she's finished with it, she puts a nail in the wall over her bed, and she hangs the single little shoe on the wall over her bed. And then she goes to bed.
Love her.
I, too, am just doing insane crafts all the time.
I love her. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Good for you, old lady in the hut.
She's just following her heart. Her hearts and crafts.
Whoa. Fucking TM.
So she makes her little golden shoe. She hangs it on a nail above her bed, and then she takes a little nap and is like, good night. What a good craft I've done. The next morning she wakes up, and her house, her little hut, spotless. Everything has been swept. Everything has been cleaned. And she wakes up to the smell of frying bacon, and she finds that breakfast is already prepared for her.
Free rent and a live-in maid now? Come on.
Come on. Plus crafts.
And you do crafts and be old?
This is the dream.
Sign me up.
So she wakes up to the smell of cooking breakfast, and she looks around. There's nobody in her hut. So she goes over and she takes the pan off the stove and she eats her little breakfast. And she's like, well, I was going to clean today, but no, my house is already all clean. So I guess I'll just spin some flax. And she sits down at her spinning wheel and starts to spin. And she goes on for a little while. And then she's like, I'm actually tired again. I think I'm going to go to bed. She goes,
nap? In the middle of the day?
Old people.
Good for her.
Old people, us included.
Yeah.
She goes and lays down, and when she wakes up again, she finds that all of the flax has been spun already.
Okay.
She's like, well, now what the fuck am I supposed to do with myself?
She's annoyed.
Yeah, and very well rested. So she decides that she's going to figure out who the fuck is doing this, and she pretends to go to sleep, but she really stays awake to see who is cleaning her house. Which, gift horse, mouth, you know?
Unless you like cleaning. I mean, it's not like our house is super filthy.
As someone who likes cleaning, I don't like cleaning that much. If someone cleaned the whole house in exactly the way that I wanted them to, I wouldn't be like, no, my hobby.
Is it like the ghost of a tiny goldfish cleaning her house? Like,
he's got a little broom.
pushing a tiny Hoover with his little fins.
Oh, precious. Oh, he's cleaning off all the surfaces by making little bubbles and then using the little thing to wipe it up.
He's descaling the pans. Just like he himself was descaled.
Oh.
It's okay.
It's a sad funny. So she stays awake to figure out who in the hell is doing all of her chores. And she cracks one eye open and she watches. And as it begins to get dark, she is pretending to be asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she watches the little golden shoe on the wall begins to quiver and shake. And from it emerges a regular-sized princess.
Classic.
Who steps out of the shoe and begins to bustle around the hut and do chores.
Mm-hmm.
And the old woman is like, aha, I know exactly what's going on. So she very, very quietly, making sure not to indicate that she is awake, very sneaky, she takes the little golden shoe off the wall and throws it into the fire. And it bursts into flames.
Yeah.
What? And this woman who is cleaning her house turns around and is like, no, that's my house.
My home.
No. And the old woman was like, ha, ha, ha. Now you have to stay here and clean for me forever.
The old woman was wicked?
Yeah.
Fucking twist.
The whole time. Wicked the whole time. I know, right?
The twists and turns in this story are wild.
I like the tiny golden shoe. I was reading this and I was like, did I skip a page? And it's like, and then she made a tiny golden, wait a minute.
Why would she do this?
What?
Okay.
So she throws the little golden shoe into the fire and she says, now you can't leave and you have to clean my house forever. And the princess is like, aw, nuts. And so now she has to clean her house forever. And ever and ever and ever. And ever. The end, not the end.
The end.
And so the old woman sets her to all kinds of chores, but she is like a hard worker, and so a lot of things get done very quickly. And she kind of runs out of chores to do.
Yeah.
And so she goes to the old woman and she says, I'm bored. Give me some work to do.
Yeah.
And the old woman is like, I don't have any work for you to do. And the princess is like, okay, well, find some. I'm bored. So the old woman goes to the king and says, I'm bored. Give me some work to do. And the king says, take this thread.
Mm-hmm.
And he hands her some thread. He says, and crochet a tablecloth.
That's a good task for an old lady. An old lady who wants a task. That's a good task.
I guess?
I think it's nice. Good for him.
Oh, and he gets a free tablecloth.
She asked.
Good for him.
She asked. And he wasn't like, go clean out the stables. Or like, go massage my wife. I don't know know what else happens in a castle. But, like...
Do things.
Instead, he was like, do something that old ladies do. Crochet a tablecloth.
A tablecloth is really big, though.
Yeah.
And
She's bored.
I feel like the phrasing also, like, it says, like, a string, like, a thread. It's not, like, yarn. It's, like, it's going to take her a really long time to do this. He's basically set her an impossible task, it sounds like.
So she won't come back bored again. I don't think he's going to be checking up on this tablecloth. Okay.
Maybe he's just really invested in handmade tablecloths. That's his hobby.
And all of his
God forbid.
God forbid a man has hobbies.
So she brings the thread home and she tells the princess, hey, crochet this into a tablecloth. And the princess sets to work. And she crochets a beautiful, delicately crafted tablecloth, all out of crochet. And in the center of the tablecloth, she makes a picture of the king's beautiful garden as like a, hey man, you got a good garden. And then in this motif of the garden, she hides a portrait of her own face. In like a flower.
Guys, I do this in all the art that I make as well.
Really?
No. I don't know what my face looks like.
You just do a little smiley face. That's me.
It's like a moon with a big old smile.
Cleverly disguised in all of your artwork. So she disguises a little portrait of herself in the tablecloth. And then she gives it to the old woman, and the old woman gives it to the king and is like, look at what I made all by myself. Aren't I talented? And the king is like, wow, this is an incredibly well-made crocheted tablecloth. And he's like, we're having a feast tonight. I'm going to use this for the table.
Nice.
Yeah. So he has a feast with the prince and his now wife.
Oh no, old lady.
Yeah. The prince and his now wife. And they all sit down to eat at the table, and everyone's drinking and laughing. And the prince looks down at the tablecloth and he's like, oh, it's my father's garden. And then he looks a little bit closer and he's like, wait, that's my wife.
It is so disturbing that he's actually fully married to this old woman. He's 18 years old. Leave him alone.
We don't know how long he spent negging women.
He's 42 now. He
He's
deserves
42.
this.
So he looks down and he sees this beautiful garden, and then he's like, wait a minute, that's the face of my wife, my true wife. Who's this person? And he goes to his father and he's like, Father, who crocheted this beautiful tablecloth? And his dad's like, the old woman. And he's like, no, it can't be.
Another old woman?
And he's like, Father, have her come here. And the king commands the old woman to come in to the feast, which also he didn't invite her to.
No.
She made the tablecloth.
Okay, and he displayed it. Everybody who, like, hangs my art on their wall, I don't expect them to invite me to their home.
You don't? What's even the point of doing art?
If you buy something on Etsy, you're not legally obligated to invite me into your home.
Yes, you are.
Nor do I want to come into your home.
As Janey's manager, you have to let her into your house.
I will not come.
But you have to allow her.
I do want an open invitation to come into your house whenever you want. Whenever
and that's
I want.
what you purchase. That's the Janey Rabadoo guarantee.
That I will one day be in your house.
Could be.
Aw, Janey, you're invited to my home whenever you want.
Aw. I can give you my garage code.
Maria said she can give me my...
sick. We're going to hang out in a garage.
I'm too sleepy for all of this nice invitations.
So the prince says to the old woman, did you crochet this tablecloth yourself? And the old woman is like, yes. And he's like, tell the truth. She's like, no, I didn't. I have a captive woman in my house and I made her do it. And the prince is like, bring her here. And the old woman brings the princess to him. And he's like, that's my wife. And his wife is like, no, it's not. And he's like, no, you're not. And then puts her to death. And then they get married. The end.
No, legally, that's not your wife. You have a wife. Sorry, you were fucking stupid. Married an old woman when you had a pumpkin model.
And that's the end. That's actually the end.
That was wild. So at the very beginning, I was like, this is very similar to, like, the nut story, where the ladies were found in the nuts. And I was like, okay, so maybe we're just telling a variant, which it was a variant, except that the ending was so bananas.
Or was it pumpkins?
The ending was so pumpkins. Really weird and Russia's fucked up.
This story is known as the Russian Yiddish Cinderella.
I was just thinking, okay, so there's a couple themes from a couple different stories. The nut story for sure. Cinderella with the shoe, absolutely. You could see that.
Except she lives inside of the shoe.
She lives inside.
And she's a fish.
The frog princess story that you told, where it's like take off your heteronormative frog skin. Also that, there's just like a lot of really cool motifs from other stories like patchworked into this. I love it.
I also love it. I really want a pair of golden shoes made of fish scales.
Honestly, you would rock those.
Thanks, man. Thanks for believing in me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice work,
Yeah.
Max.
Nice work, Janey.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone. And thanks to the viewers at home.
I think there's like 10 people
You make
on.
this all possible.
There's
PBS.
13 people? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm going to turn to the chat now and read some stuff. Caston invited me into his home whenever I want, and then said, now keep in mind my entire family currently has COVID. I'm pretty sure I had COVID, Caston. I'm pretty sure that I had it before and just didn't get checked out, so I think I'm immune? I don't know what that means. And Maria says, my garage is pretty cool, but I did just see a large spider in there.
Nope, we're not coming to your garage. Sorry.
And also, maybe we don't want to be your friend anymore. Block Maria.
Don't even joke.
I wouldn't.
Just
I'll
like
give you the
things.
deadbolt code. No garage involved.
Is it just opening the deadbolt?
I'll give you
Isn't
the deadbolt
that what a
code.
deadbolt is?
Our deadbolt code is the key that we hide under the mat. Cool. I want to read one of our 5-star reviews.
Okay.
Been
I'll
doing it.
allow it.
We don't have a bunch of 5-star reviews, but the ones that we do have, I like.
We don't have a bunch of reviews.
Yeah, we need more reviews.
Hey, guys.
Apple Podcasts.
For only 5 cents a day, you could have 5 cents a day and leave us a free review.
Imagine, if you will. Okay, so this is 10 out of 10 podcast by Vera with 3 strong arms. And it says, I was just sitting in my room eating barley sugar, waiting to be 90 when I decided to listen to this podcast. Gotta say, it was a fun old time. This is my favorite and also only podcast I listen to, and it's great. It's a great. It's a great. I was listening to this when I was picking mulberries and listening to the one story about that kid in the tree eating a bunch of pears while a witch tried to kill him, and your storytelling made it feel like he was in the tree in front of me. Terrifying.
Isn't that the...
PP Peeker. That was,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that was little PP.
I don't want to lean into type
And
here,
witch
but pretty sure that's a
bewitch.
piss tail.
That was a piss tail. That's horrifying. Yeah, I like this review. It references...
It's a delicious review.
Ew. Don't say delicious when we just
Oh,
talked
I
about...
was talking about the pears and the mulberries
Yes.
and the barley sugar, obviously.
No, he talked about the Magic Fishbone by Charles Dickens? Oscar Wilde? One of those guys.
Mm.
I think it's Charles Dickens, the Magic Fishbone. And also Petey Pete and Witch Be Witch.
Mm-hmm.
How fun.
How good.
How fun, how good.
How good, how fun.
Guys, do you have any questions? Any, weird things that you want us to answer real quick before we head off? Caston says, if you could fight any historical figure, who?
Who?
It just ends with who.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, the two of us fucking tag teaming fighting Ronald Reagan. I think we should take a tour of... We start with Ronald Reagan.
Reagan's asshole.
We beat
With our fists.
We beat the shit out of Ronald Reagan, and then we jump farther back in time and we beat the shit out of John Wayne. We just start
John Wayne?
John Wayne.
They're contemporaries.
Yeah, but I want to go back to when they're in their primes. I want to be at their height of their career, when they are at their manliest, when everyone's they're the best. I want us to just go in there and fucking fuck them up. I want to give them stupid fucking haircuts.
Oh. I want to read their diary on the news. Get wrecked, Ronald Reagan.
I want to sneak into a party where they're really, really drunk and they're talking about how much they have a crush on each other, and I want to film it and then put it on the news.
You think John Wayne and Ronald Reagan have a crush on each other?
If they didn't, then explain my Wattpad novel, Max.
I can't. Nobody can.
Do you have any advice for a single gal in her mid-20s? To Maria. Run. I have advice. I did a lot of shit in my 20s where I was like, actually, I don't like labels, so maybe we just not make this complicated. And make it complicated. Label it. Fucking, Mm-hmm. If I could go back, that's the one thing I would change. I did that with a bunch of people where I was like, I don't know. I'm just like, no, just fucking label it. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. If you break up, you break up. Just fucking label it. Don't let people not label it. That's my advice.
I've been too pleasant. Where I'm like, I don't want to make a problem, so whatever they say is kind of fine. Like, I can get over it. And that's bullshit. It should be equal parts. You should be comfortable making your partner uncomfortable and make them have it to make a choice. Not in terms of, like, being an asshole, but, like, you know, if there's something that's important to you, it's okay to say, this is important to me, and have them make the difficult choice.
Also, be really mean to people. They like it, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun little thing you guys can do together. You be mean to them,
in the bedroom
and they feel bad.
and out of it.
When you said Reagan, Maria said Reagan at the exact same time out loud. And Christina says, I want to help fight Reagan.
You guys, are we going to just go mob murder Ronald Reagan?
You want to go dig up the corpse of Ronald Reagan?
And shit on his grave?
Coming this fall. Shitting on Ronald Reagan's corpse. Molly Ann says, if you could be any type of soup, what would you be? Right now, pumpkin soup. Seasonal. I know what you'd be. You'd be a tortellini soup.
Rude.
No, it's good. Like a creamy Tuscan tortellini with some Parmesan over it.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
I'm back on. I was like, right? I'm offended. That's a baby meal. But
no, it's not. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So that's meet up to beat the fuck out of Reagan. Yeah, we're coming for you, corpse of Ronald Reagan. I work with a bunch of animals or kids. All my friends are in relationships, and I'm just here with my dog with a bedtime of 10 p.m.
That's not a bad way to be.
No.
Also, here's the thing. This is not from personal experience. This is from observation. There are relationships where it is not worth being in a relationship just to be in a relationship. If it is a lot of work, and if it doesn't make you happy, there's no reason to do it. It is much better to be alone and be happy with yourself than it is to spend a lot of time and energy on someone who doesn't make you happy.
Also, maybe you'll meet somebody when you're doing something that you guys have like common interests.
A hoctor.
For example, you have a hawk that needs a hoctor. You know? Well, we love you, Maria. And we love all of you. Okay, so since there's no more questions running into the chat, we're going to head out. I've decided just now. You guys, thank you for joining us on this another episode of Sort of the Story.
Gaston says maybe you'll meet someone at the Reagan meetup when all of America beats him up. That's the only acceptable place to meet someone, is when you are mutually beating the shit out of the corpse of Ronald Reagan.
Also, just know that when you're in your 30s, you might accidentally end up dating a COVID denier with a gun.
Who has a loose gun in his house.
So...
And no furniture.
No furniture, post-its from his ex everywhere, a loose gun, and denies COVID. So, you know, just maybe, perhaps, it's better to give yourself some time. It doesn't get better. Well, with that, okay, guys, we're gonna head on out. If you want to look at some pictures,
go on google.com/images, and you can just look up whatever you want to look at.
Look up
You can look up anything. You could look up
Ronald
fancy
Reagan kissing John Wayne. Why did you say like that's something that you would like to see?
I was thinking about something else. I saw a car like 10 years ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. And it was like a hatchback, and it had a bunch of stickers on the back of it. And the stickers said, like, I love kayaking naked, and like, live, laugh, kayak naked.
Live, laugh, kayak naked.
And like, this driver kayaks naked.
Who has 2 thumbs and kayaks naked?
This fucking guy.
And then a specific car.
And then also taped to the inside of their back window, not like a sticker, But, like, they were like, it's not a sticker, but I have to have it on my car still.
Yeah.
They had printed out a picture of Batman and Superman kissing from one of the comics and taped it on the inside of their back window shield. It was like, that's a guy who likes two fucking things.
Guy acting naked and Batman and Superman porn.
Not porn, they're just making out.
You think
They're
that's
just kissing.
You think
they're
that's
just in love. Don't be a pervert.
You think that's where that ends? That was just the family-friendly version.
He also has on the inside of his windshield, so only he can see it. I also don't know their gender. I shouldn't say he.
It's funnier to see.
Is it?
It is.
On the inside of their window shield, they, I assume, had pasted a printed out picture of Superman and Batman just hardcore fucking. So that only they can see it when they're driving and they're like, yeah.
Yeah. They're hardcore fucking in a kayak.
Oh, naked.
Yeah, so it just looks like two guys, but like he knows that they're Batman.
They're wearing name tags.
Hello, my name is Batman. Well,
his name is John Wayne.
Take that energy with you on any and all future dates. Mm-hmm. Okay, join us next time, next week, same place, same time, for free. If you want more, join us on Patreon. I'm so tired suddenly. Oh,
I got this.
You do it.
Okay. If you guys want more of this delicious, sparkling content, you can join us on Patreon. For $7 a month, you get access to a bonus episode. For $3 a month, you get to hang out on the Discord without all the cool people who we've been hanging out with tonight. And also, you'll know about things like this. For the people on the Discord and here in the Zoom with us, we are so glad that you're here. And for anyone who's just listening to this and not watching it like a loser, try harder. Join us on Patreon. You're welcome.
Love y'all so much. Thank you for doing that for me. Yeah, and we'll see you next week on Sort of the Story. Okay, bye guys. Feel better, and we love you. Bye. Testing.
Testing.
I feel like my microphone is like way farther away from me than it usually is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's because we're two fat cats in a wash tub.
Two fat cats in a box. One time Max and I went to a hotel. I forget why we were in a hotel. We were traveling here, I think.
Yeah, we were in Savannah. It was supposed to have a pool, and then
It did have a pool. We have to be very clear. It had a pool, but the men that were in that pool were disgusting.
Yeah, it was like two dudes. I think we actually went down to go in the hot tub, and there were two dudes in the hot tub who visibly looked excited when we walked in. That was the only people in the room. And we were like, well, we're not doing that.
Literally, we'll never set foot in this place again. They were so visibly excited. It was like, they were like, we brought all these roofie pills for nothing. Oh, yeah! Like, we really made their day. So we decided, no, we're not going to do that. And so instead, we put an inch of warm water in the bathtub of this hotel, and then we both climbed inside in our bikinis, and it was the least penthouse thing anyone has ever done, because it was like two really fat cats just like
in a wet cardboard box.
Our knees are just touching. We're like, this is unpleasant.
Yeah, it wasn't the hot tub experience that we were promised.
We did our best.
But also, both of us on this side of the table trying to face forward is the same experience of two fat cats in a wet cardboard box.
Two fat cats in a wet cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the sort of sexy content people come here for, so...